Hey guys, I'm very excited to bring you this video for multiple reasons. First of all, this is involving the Fanimation drone, which is my new favorite Fanimation product. My previous favorite was the Ascension, and my previous favorite before that was the Air Shadow. And collectively, those are my three favorites. But of the most recent stuff to... Hey guys, I'm very excited to bring you this video for multiple reasons. My beard looks weird, huh? Hey guys, so this is a new thing for Dan Spiffy Newman ceiling fans, and I'm very excited to bring you this video for multiple reasons. First of all, this is a review and demonstration of the Fanimation drone. The drone is my new favorite Fanimation product. My previous favorite was the Ascension, and my favorite before that was the Air Shadow, and those collectively together are my three favorites. But of the newly introduced stuff, not just from Fanimation, but from pretty much every manufacturer, the drone is a clear winner in my book. So I'm very excited to be able to test one and to demonstrate it and to do all the usual things that we do with airflow and current draw and all of that. Second thing that's exciting is that this is a more polished video than I might normally do. It's got intros and outros and editing and stuff like that. And I don't normally do that because I don't have a lot of time if I'm going to try to put up, half a dozen to a dozen fan videos a week, and it takes a couple days to edit one. You can already see there that there's not enough days in the week for that. So this is going to be something that doesn't happen that often, but I'm excited to do it. And the reason that it's a more polished video and that we're doing it in this format is because it's a collaboration with my very favorite ceiling fan related YouTuber, Cole Semenko, aka Vintage Fans and More. I've known Cole since he just started collecting. I don't remember how old he was. He'd have to tell you that, but he was basically a kid. He was either a preteen or a teen, and he came and visited my shop in Wisconsin. He was, I think, the first fan collector to visit my Oregon shop before I was testing fans there, and then subsequently Reese came, and that together inspired me to do something there, with fans, so that when people came and visited, it was more than just, hey, here's some gold lines installed. I've known him all that time, respect him, both as a collector, as a person, as well as a YouTuber and a social media advocate, and because he has by far, I think, the most polished fan-related YouTube channel. This is a collaboration, so he's putting up a video, I'm putting up a video, and I'm sure his is going to look way better than mine. If you watch my videos a lot, sometimes I will joke about having a rivalry with him. I'll make jokes during filming about, take that, Cole, or whatever. But that's all jokes. I really do respect him, and not all of our viewership overlaps, so it's not a rivalry at all. We work together, and hopefully this will be the start of working a lot more closely together for the benefit of both of our channels and both of our businesses. So definitely I'm going to put the link to his video for the collaboration in the thing down there, and so you definitely want to watch his too. Some of his footage is interspersed with mine, and some of my footage is interspersed with his, and it'll be it'll be a really great thing. So I'm super excited to bring this to you. So let's talk about the drone. Clearly it's designed to compete with the Big Ass Fans Haiku, which I personally have never been a fan of, pun notwithstanding. I never liked the look of it. I never liked the price of it, and while it moves a lot of air, it tends to make a lot of air noise. And if you're going to have a fan that moves a lot of air and makes a lot of air noise, you're better off with an industrial fan, So it's just never been a thing that's been on my radar screen, really. I've seen them places, and, I've tested some. I think I've even done videos of some. But, yeah. So a lot of other companies have come out with fans to improve on that design or simply to compete with it. And Fanimation has definitely come out with a fan that improves on it. First of all, I think the look is much better. It looks more like a fan, and I mean that in a good way. Obviously, sometimes we have designs that we don't want to look like a fan, like an Enigma. But I've always joked that the haiku looks like a jellyfish on the ceiling, I think is what I've said, or something, stingray on the ceiling, something like that, something that should be in Finding Nemo and not on my ceiling. And the drone looks like a fan. It just looks like a really, really cool fan. And that's the first improvement that I saw. When I saw it, you can tell what it's trying to compete with, but it's also not like a copy of the design in the way that we have some of these designs out there just being blatantly copied. You can be like, okay, I know what market they're going for, but it's not the same thing. If you put the two next to each other in a showroom, nobody would mistake one for the other. So then the next thing they improved upon is the noise, which is something that somebody at Fanimation had actually talked to me about. I know somebody had picked my brain about the haiku at some point before the drone came out, and had mentioned that. And what Fanimation has done is they have I think it's a 36-degree blade pitch. Let me turn my ringer off. What Fanimation has done is they have a 36-degree blade pitch. And so it's gone from the opposite end of the spectrum. We talked about industrial fans briefly, which move a lot of air by having a very shallow blade pitch going very fast. Well, this is the opposite. It has a very steep blade pitch and goes fairly slow, which is something you're able to do with a DC motor that you can't necessarily do with an AC motor. So while I've been kind of a grudging advocate of DC motors because they're not as user serviceable as AC motors, or as versatile as AC motors in terms of what you can do with them with installations, which is the world that I typically live in, multiple fan installs and different controls and things like that. There are a lot of advantages to DC motors, and I'm coming around on them. In this case, you'll see that this fan draws at most half of what a normal 52-inch fan would draw, and definitely even less than that, depending on the speed and some other factors with the DC control circuit. And then the third thing that Fanimation improved on is the price point. If you look at the haiku, it comes in multiple different versions and multiple different price points, and the drone is designed to compete, I believe, with the mid-grade one, which retails for about $1,000, and the drone retails for about $400, which for a very modern DC fan with the highest end controls and the highest end designs, that's not very much. I know it sounds like a lot to some of us that are used to buying fans at home centers for $75 or thrift stores for $15, but if you price what's out there, a lot of the stuff that's out there is well over $500, and I think even the cheapest haiku is $600 or $700. So they've definitely taken the three things that that were disadvantages about that design and improved upon them and created a model that I really like. And I've talked in some of the video footage about how it kind of reminds me of a Stratojet a little bit with the blade design. It also reminds me a bit of a very rare Sanyo industrial fan that just had 3 blades on a round bare motor. Those have not been seen very much, but kind of gives me a little bit of that vibe. Yeah. So I think that the only criticisms that Cole and I both agreed on were that it did not have, at least at this point, a light option or a vaulted ceiling option. It does have a longer down rod option. I wasn't sure of that when I filmed some of the footage and went back and checked, and yes, you can get longer down rods for it. And in fact, the way that we're testing it is the hugger option, which I wouldn't have called it that, because it kind of looks like it has a down rod to me, but it is considered to be a hugger fan. Those are the only criticisms that we had. I mean, other than that, I think we thought it was perfect just as it was. And I actually had the privilege of talking to Tom and some people at Fanimation about those criticisms, and there is a reason. The reason there's no vaulted ceiling kit is simply because there was no way to do it without and maintain the aesthetic of the fan, and that was important to them from a design perspective. And so basically, if you need something for vaulted ceiling, they're okay with you buying something else because they want to maintain the integrity of their design, which is admirable, I think. The light option was something that they tried to do, but there wasn't room in the motor. But perhaps there will be different options in the future for that. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do with the rest of my footage. I have different clips from my videos and from Cole's videos showing the drone on all 6 speeds, forward and reverse with the amp meter, so you can just see it demonstrated. And yeah, as you can see, it moves a lot of air. It's silent. As I said, we really like the look of it. And yeah, if this is the style of fan you're looking for, and you're interested in efficiency, and you don't need a light or a vaulted ceiling adapter, I honestly don't see why you would go with anything else. I'm very pleased with it. I'm hoping to find a place to hang mine, and I'm really excited to see it hit the market and do big things and start to see it even installed publicly and in people's houses and sightings and things like that. Okay, guys, I'm really, really glad we could do this collaboration. I'm really glad that we could put this video together, and thank you for sticking with us and watching. Hopefully we'll be doing a lot more like this in the future. This was a lot of fun for me, and hopefully it was a lot of fun for you watching. Thanks again. Big thank you, Cole Semanco, Vintage Fans and More, Tom Frampton, Fanimation. You guys are the best, and you'll be seeing both of them a lot more and a lot more videos going forward, so thanks for watching. So the first thing I did is I had the usual suspects over, which is his Metalness, Metal Pete, and Tommy, who I don't really think has a nickname, but shout out to their YouTube channels, Metal Pete the Metal Fan and the Ceiling Fan page. These guys are my right hand and my left hand when it comes to fan projects. They have been dedicated, and they've been helpful, and they've been a lot of fun, and when we film together, it's definitely a great entertainment for us, hopefully for those watching as well. So definitely go and check out the videos that we all have filmed together working on and testing fans. So I didn't want to do this without them, so I made sure to include them, and you'll see I have some sped up footage here of us unboxing and assembling the drone. You can go to my channel and find the full footage. And then once we got it up, we tested it 3 different times, twice in the shop attic and once in my garage, which is going to be my new shop space going forward. So that's where that footage comes from. Recording test footage to check the microphone levels. Microphone check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Microphone check. Mic check. All the numbers that you check with a mic. Hey guys! So we got a new thing going over here at Dan Spiffy Newman Ceiling Fans. I'm super excited about it, and I'm going to tell you what it is right now. So we are doing a collaboration test demonstration review video of the Fanimation drone with Vintage Fans and More. First of all, the drone is the most exciting ceiling fan to hit the market in 2017, if you ask me. I have not seen anything since the Ascension from any manufacturer that really made me go, I want that, until the drone. When I first saw the drone, which I believe was in the prep for the last Dallas lighting thing, I saw it and I was like, well, yeah, I'm getting one of those. And it's very rare that new designs make me feel that way. So I'm very excited to be testing and reviewing the drone. Second thing that's exciting is that this video is definitely going to be a little bit more... The second thing that's exciting is that this video is going to be a little bit more polished than my normal YouTube videos. I'm going to be doing some editing. There's going to be some footage, and there's going to be, you know, some stuff happening. The second thing about this video is it's a little more... You suck. The second thing about this video is it's going to be a little bit more polished than my usual YouTube fan videos. There's going to be some editing, some footage spliced in, even a few little graphics, if you can call them that. And that's because of it being a collaboration with, honestly, my favorite fan-related YouTuber, Cole Semanco, a.k.a. Vintage Fans and More. We're going to be testing and demonstrating and reviewing the drone together. And so you will be seeing some of his footage and mine, some of my footage and his, and the videos will be referential, and it'll be great for both of our channels and both of our viewerships. I have known Cole since he was probably at least a preteen, possibly younger. I can't remember how young he was when we first met, but he was a kid, and he was, I believe, the first fan collector to visit my organ shop, and second was Reese, and the two of them together visiting over the years inspired me to start testing fans there, which I did for several years now, and have moved into the garage now that I have that opportunity, and you'll see that in the footage here. So I'm super excited to be collaborating with Cole. He has a really great YouTube channel. He has a really great fan collection. I trust his opinion. He's a smart guy, and he's a good person. And I don't know if I can say all those things about anyone else, including myself. It's just, I really have a lot of respect for him, so it's super exciting to be collaborating with him, and we're going to do a lot going forward. So let's talk about the drone. It's clearly meant to compete with the Big Ass Fans Haiku, but it's not a copy of it, which is great because there's a lot of things I didn't like about the Haiku, and Fanimation has improved on all of them. I've never been a fan of the Haiku, pun notwithstanding. When it first came out, I'm like, okay, the efficiency is great. I don't like the look, I don't like the performance, and I don't like the price. And so it's never really been on my radar screen. I've obviously filmed a few. I've tested a few, not in my shop, but just in installations and things. And it's just never been a fan that's appealed to me for those reasons. And Fanimation has addressed all of them. I think the look of the drone is much better. I don't know how to describe it other than it looks a little bit more like a fan to me, which in this case is good. Sometimes you have fans you don't want to look like a fan, like the Enigma or the Beckwith or whatever, but I've always joked that the Haiku looks like a Stingray or something just stuck to the ceiling. And I've just always thought it was an unattractive fan, even for a modern design. And the drone, on the other hand, I think is a very attractive fan. It gives me a little bit of vintageness with a little bit of a Stratojet vibe and a little bit of a Sanyo vibe, but for the most part, it's very modern, but it looks like a new cutting-edge, cool, modern design fan, which, I don't see how you could go wrong with that. Second thing is one of the complaints that I'd heard about the drone. The second thing is one of the complaints that I'd heard about the Haiku and then got to experience for myself is that they are noisy. They move a lot of wind noise, especially on higher speeds, which is one thing if you're, installing an industrial commercial fan in a, grocery store or something like that, laundromat, whatever. But it's another thing if you're putting it in your bedroom, which is why a lot of non-fan collectors probably don't have gold lines in their bedroom, despite how efficient they are and how much air they move. And then it's very choppy, helicoptery wind noise based on their blade design, which it's very efficient, but it's noisy. And Fanimation changed that by going to, instead of the Haiku, which has a very shallow blade pitch, Fanimation has a curved 36-degree blade pitch, which is insane. And that's something you wouldn't be able to do without a DC motor. I've talked in the past, I'm not a huge fan of DC motors, but I'm grudgingly accepting them because you can do things like that you just simply couldn't do with an AC motor. There's just so much more power in the DC motors, and they're so efficient. What I don't care for is typically they're not user serviceable, and they are not versatile in terms of wall controls and multiple installations, multiple fans on the same control and stuff like that. You're pretty much stuck with the control the fan comes with. But that's a tangent. So there's still reasons where I prefer AC motors, but if you're looking for efficiency, DC is definitely the way to go these days, and the technology is getting better and better every day. And Fanimation's 6-speed DC motor that's used in the drone is very impressive. It's a beefy little motor. If you ever look at it, it's small, but it's very heavy. You can take a look at that in some of the footage I have us unboxing it that I'll link to below. So trying to remember where I was going next. So yeah, Cole and I both loved the drone even before we saw it in person, even before we tested it, and it is not disappointed in the tests. It is not disappointed in person. It's just a really great fan. So the first thing that I did is I invited the usual suspects, His Metalness, Metal Pete, and Tommy Bodden, who I don't believe has a nickname yet, but we'll have to work on that. And shout out to both of their YouTube channels, Metal Pete the Metal Fan and the Ceiling Fan page. And these guys have just been tremendous help for me working on projects, fan-related projects, testing fans, videoing fans, prepping for the museum, stuff like that. They've been coming and hanging out and helping with all of that and been great company and great fun. We've all learned a lot, so definitely go and look for the footage on all of our channels of us working together. So I didn't want to do this without them, so I invited them both over, and we unboxed and assembled the drone, and I'm going to show you some just very sped-up footage of that. But if you want to see that footage in real time or even sped up but not quite as fast, that's on my channel. So here's that. So what I did for the collaboration is I took samples of all the footage, mine in the shop attic, mine in the garage, and Cole's in his new awesome test space that just looks super awesome, especially for a modern fan like this, and spliced in the footage of the fan at the same speed. So you'll see speed 1 of the different installations, speed 2 of the different installations through all 6 speeds, forward and reverse. And our commentary from the videos is there. So that's what you're about to see. Okay, so just summing up on the drone. I love it. Cole loves it. Metal Pete loves it. Tommy loves it. As far as new modern DC motor efficient fans go, the only reason I could think of why you wouldn't go for the drone is, one, if it wasn't the look that you wanted. Maybe you like the look of the Odin or something else better. There's definitely other designs. Personally, this is my favorite of the DC modern fan designs. I just think it's cool. It looks like a fan. It doesn't look scary. I don't know how else to call it. I can't really put words on it. I just like the way it looks more so than the other DC designs that are out there. Other reason not to go for it is if you need a light. Currently there is no light option for it. That may be something that happens in the future as they introduce different versions and different models. There might be a similar model that has a light option or a drone 2 or something like that. We'll see in the future, but as of right now that's not a thing. Or if you needed it to mount to a vaulted ceiling. That's something that's probably not going to happen going forward because there would be no way to use a vaulted ceiling kit that didn't mess with the aesthetic of the fan. And the designers felt it was very important to maintain that design integrity. So you can get additional downrod lengths for it, but it still has to mount to a flat surface. So those are the only reasons why I personally would not recommend the drone for someone. Otherwise, it's would be my first recommendation if you were looking for a modern, efficient DC ceiling fan. I'm pretty sure that Cole will tell you the same thing over at Vintage Fans and More. And so, yeah, we're just super excited to have an opportunity to be a part of that. Also, again, I'm super excited to be doing this collaboration, so we'll definitely be doing some more of those in the future. And so when more fan designs come out that both of us are excited about, we'll try to do this again. So I think that's all I got for this video. Thanks again, Cole Simango, Vintage Fans and More, Tom Frampton Fanimation, and then thank you for watching.